People are trying to get control of you, the way you purchase, and the way you are, and the way you behave. Everyone's trying to get control as opposed to just like letting people be themselves. I was talking to my dad today and he's like, you know what, I don't think you've ever done anything the conventional way because you don't know how. You never like to be trained, you like to train yourself. The formative years were spent in the Midwest in Ohio. My father's a professor. We would travel a lot. We lived in Egypt for a while. It was kind of an interesting extremes, you know, the Midwest and then the third world. I remember the first 3 days so confused why we moved from what seemed like such a nice life to a 4th floor of an apartment building across from the Israeli consulate. People throwing Molotov cocktails at the and machine gun fire, you know, like it's kind of scary. Just life and death that happens in this third world, in the street, people suffering, you know, just humanity. Since that point I didn't fit in. I've always cared about what I was wearing, but never really had access to things, so I'd make clothes just because I couldn't get them. All the other things that I make, furniture, objects, mobiles, inform and keep me interested in clothing. I treat it more like three-dimensionally. I'm really about fabric. Find a piece of fabric. If you're making furniture, you find a piece of wood that has great patina or some sort of soul. I try to take that minimal Japanese, disciplined, Don Judd aesthetic and apply it to workwear. I'm a minimalist for sure. I do not like extra shit on anything. I like just straight up utility. Like my aesthetic, I call it soulful minimalism. The thing I like to do is put like Vision streetwear with an Amish jacket. There is no hardware. All the pockets are in the inside.
Why don't they have anything on the outside?
Because they don't believe in any decoration. You can't have any decoration. That's why everything's so simple and plain. My daughter would like kind of grab the side of my shirt and kind of pull it over to the side. It always is like grabbing here. And I was like, that's kind of a funny idea, kind of like an unbalanced. I mean, t-shirt's a t-shirt, like how do you reinvent a t-shirt? Simple, uniform, utilitarian, Amish thing. These obviously have been like blown out here, so they've replaced it with a patch, which kind of gives it tons of flavor and texture and, you know, makes them really dynamic, but they don't have any hardware on them and they've got this long crotch. I think that the best dressed men, they're not screaming, they just have subtle nuanced details in their clothing and their style that define their personality. The convention of fashion seems to be only commerce and very little creativity. In the end, people just, they want the same thing repackaged. And I see so many men in particular that are just beat down. Like they've just, it's almost like they're thrown in the towel and they're just like, just tell me what to wear. They'll wear like weird fucking true religion-y kind of bling stuff, but they won't just wear a fucking gray trouser. When a guy feels like he discovered this band, then they really seem to kind of appreciate it and want to learn more about it. What I've been doing is what I call reductive landscaping, where you kind of look at the landscape and you edit things that, you know, either like are vines that are invasive vine, or just like shape-wise it doesn't kind of fit in. In Japanese garden, they don't have the nature in front of them, so they try and recreate like vignettes or like a diorama that looks like Hokkaido, the nature island, you know, because they're so densely populated and it's landscapes like this that they have to like deal with making that small space really habitable. The only place I've really ever found things that I have an interest in buying is Japan. It's a culture of makers. They really appreciate artisans and like people who are amazing craftspeople. I collect a lot of textiles. This is like just a piece of dyed muslin, but I think I got this in Japan. It just like looks like the sky. I mean, you know, it's kind of unintentional, but I have stacks and stacks of these guys. They're made from workwear kimonos. They don't value this, and they keep repairing them. That's the thing that's so cool. I'm obsessed with the ocean. It's funny that I live in the Midwest, but every chance I got, I'd go scuba diving or surfing. Wave shape is so dynamic. I mean, at the same spot, at two similar occasions, you'll have completely different waves. And the way it's moving this way, it's moving up, it's moving this way, and you're going down the face of it. It's just like the feeling in the ocean is a really humbling nature experience. There's no other experience I have where I have put myself in danger and been thankful that I made it out alive. Like that makes you feel alive. Like you're really like, whoa, either I don't want to do that again or I have to try that again. To me, kind of my religion is evolution. Things are constantly in flux. Everything's changing at all times, forever.
Definitely.
So the only thing you can really ever count on is that things are going to change. You know what I mean?
Right.
So getting anything perfect is really impossible. The world needs less fear and more faith. Not faith in necessarily in a higher being, faith in other people.